no trips to the line, no assists, and only 1 rebound.
All right, you see the halftime stats. Let's get back to Vince Carter, Leo. Why has he been a non-factor in this ball game?
I just don't like the energy. This really showed up on the West Coast swing. No defensive energy, no mindset that, hey, I'm going to play, I'm going to do what I have to do. And, you know, one of the things that Vince came out and said, I'm going to do what Sam Mitchell wants me to do. Well, I think Sam wants him to play defense. He wants him to be aggressive and be a leader, and right now he's not doing that.
So Carter and the Raptors down 52-44. Vince, the pass to Bosch, good.
Now see how easy it is for Vince to have an impact. He comes up, he draws a double team, he finds the open man just by being aggressive with the ball.
Spurs basketball. Again, if you just joined us, Nesterovic and Duncan really hurt the Raptors in this game. The Raptors went to a zone that created some problems, and then Duncan took over. Ginobili fumbled the ball, hits the floor, keeps it alive. Carter with a steal, down the floor. Jalen Rose. Rose to Bosch, out of pump, out of drive. Ramin, really good. CB4 to the cup.
And San Antonio wants to talk this over. They had a little momentum going into halftime, and Greg Popovich does not like what he's seeing right now.
Say one thing about Pops, man, he'll get in anybody's mud.
Oh, yeah.
Tim Duncan, Ginobili. We'll be right back. Third quarter. Chuck Swirsky, Leo Rutten's Normal Wick, and tomorrow 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Centrals on CTV, CSI Miami. We're still waiting for CSI Syracuse. Maybe that'll come out later, but let's go to Normal Wick.
Thank you. Well, Greg Popovich, a little incensed in that last time out, read the riot act to his players, said just because you had a lead at the half, you don't come out and stand around. Guys were late on defensive assignments. It didn't go over well with Popovich. He said, you've got to play this game for 48 minutes and get your head out of the sand. I think that's what he said.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Normal.
How do you spell sand?
Yeah, right. Okay, Duncan. No. Rebound, Bosch. Right for Alston. Running the controls. He has 7 points along with 6 assists. Here's Alston to Jalen Rose. Rose has not scored since the first quarter. Alston dancing off left side, working against Tony Parker. Yes!
So quick. When Rafer Alston gives you that little herky-jerky move and you get on your heels and all of a sudden he goes up, you can't respond to that move.
52-50, the Spurs lead shaved to a bucket. Bowen for 3. No, long board, Nesterovic. Parker, no look pass to Ginobili. The dish to Duncan, and it's stripped out of his hands, out of bounds.
I like the zone for the Raptors. So San Antonio just not being aggressive enough in attacking it. Toronto doing an excellent job of moving, especially with Chris Bosch out there. He's really moving well.
Ginobili on a switch. And here's Ginobili, wide open 3-ball. Raps caught a break. Another offensive rebound for Tim Duncan.
Remember, the adjustment has to be made for long shots. You got to step back, block out a little bit deeper.
And Parker is fouled, and that will set Tony Parker up for a couple of free throws. But again, give credit to Tim Duncan, his 6th offensive rebound, and the 12th overall for San Antonio in this ball game.
A lot of it, again, is just knowing the shot and where the shot's being taken from. You don't have to fight for that low position. When it's a 3-point shot, that ball's going to be coming out further, and Tim Duncan really letting the defense take care of itself, going down lower and waiting for that ball to bounce off.
You know, in this day and age of inflated contracts and whatnot, where you really don't know what you're going to get in years 3 and 4, Tim Duncan is worth every cent in the second year of a 7-year, $122 million contract.
There's no icing on the cake. He just comes out and plays.
Carter, hang time, no. Tip by Woods, second attempt, no. Nesterovic with a rebound.
Got to grab that and go back up and try to dunk it.
54-50 Spurs. Parker, and he threw it away. Intercepted by Carter. Vince 1 for 5 of the ball game. Here's Carter working against Ginobili. They run a play for Lauren Woods. Let's see if they give it back to Vince. Woods with it up and under and a dunk! What a play by Lauren Woods.
And that's the mentality. Just go up there and say, hey, I'm just going to throw this one down. He could have done it the last play when he had the ball, but he certainly made up for it on that possession.
Again, Raptors sucked into that zone defense. Parker all the way to the rim with a floater. Tip, no. Another offensive rebound. Nesterovic to Parker. Swatted from behind by Lamond Murray. His 10th block of the year. Alston, Rose, Woods, Bosch, Kabosh!
Fast break clinic executed by the Raptors.
Gotta love that. That was textbook NBA fast break. 54 apiece.
But you know, Charlie, it starts with the rebound. When that shot goes up, you got to find a black shirt, put a body on him, and make sure if you don't get the ball, he doesn't get the ball.
Going. Nope. Rebound. And it's Chris Bosch. Bosch at 6'11", running the floor. And Lamond Woods giving it up to Ray for Alston. Alston splits the defense. Duncan. And it's knocked out of bounds by Bosch.
Oh, that's just good unison right there between Duncan and Nesterovic. You see that Alston makes the right decision. You get Nesterovic coming out at you, he just tries to blow right by him. But what happens? You got another 7-footer, the second wave coming right at you, changing the shot.
The Spurs shooting only 37%, but they've been to the line 18 times, and that's what's really bailed them out, tied at 54.
Tim Duncan has made more free throws himself, 7, than the Raptors have as a team.
And it's goaltending on the Raptors.
I like what Chris Bosch is showing.
Yeah.
He is coming out. He's going after the ball. He's being aggressive. When a guy's in one of these zones, and you know, we touched on this against Seattle, when a guy's in one of these zones where he's blocking shots, he's rebounding, and that was close.
Boy,
that was close. That ball looked like it was just approaching the peak. And there's Lamond Woods with a block from behind, and that break the Raptors had.
56-54 Spurs. Here's Carter with a spin. Carter, no.
And again, I go back to saying that Bosch needs some touches. When he's in his zone, he's feeling good. Give him the ball instead of forcing shots.
Duncan turning and scoring. When in doubt, give it up to superstar Tim Duncan, having another marvelous afternoon. 23 points, 13 rebounds.
Well, we saw how quietly the Spurs took over the game in the last 5-6 minutes of that first half. The Raptors have to be careful and constantly monitor the clock and the score with every trip down the floor.
And Ray for Alston with one of his patented moves, the little floater on the baseline. He also does that in the paint. And Alston in this contest with 11 points and 6 assists. 58-56 Spurs. We played just over 5 minutes here, third quarter. Raptors on the road Tuesday in Washington, D.C. Parker, Ames fires, no. Tapped by Bosch into the arms of Nesterovic. Here's Ginobili. Good.
Again, rebounding, offensive rebounding really being the difference. San Antonio not shooting well. You mentioned they're scoring at the free throw line, but their offensive rebounding is giving them the advantage in this ballgame.
Carter is 1 for 6 of the ball game. He has not been to the foul line. Jalen Rose, no, on a 3-ball. Offensive rebound, Bosch, who has played strong at both ends of the floor. Rose, no. And Jalen in this ball game has cooled off big time since a red-hot start in the first quarter. Bones pass deflected, and it's Tim Duncan with the loose ball. And he threw it away. Tim Duncan and the Spurs up by 4, 60-56.
You know, you see a lot of teams when they make mistakes, yeah, guys look a little upset about it, but when the Spurs make mistakes like they just did, you could just see it in their eyes, that the disappointment, not only for themselves for making that mistake, but they don't even want to look at their teammates and go, nah, man, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. Like I said, we talked about accountability. You can feel it when you watch the Spurs play.
Yes. Duncan again. Pass to Nesterovic and scoring.
And nice use of his body right there. Vince Carter tried to make the block. Nesterovic just gathered himself, turned, put his body between Vince and the ball, and that was it.
Here's Jalen Rose pushing off Bowen, and that is a foul on Jalen Rose. No question about that.
Well, if you know the book on Jalen Rose, if you could just play with your feet, he has a tendency to stick out his forearm and try to get a little room. So instead of trying to block shots or steal the ball, try to beat him with your feet, and hopefully you get that call. And Bruce Bowen is about as good as you get at playing with your feet. He's a tremendous defensive player. He takes a lot of pride in making your night a miserable one.
Rose goes to the bench. Peterson on the floor. Raptors trail 62-56. 5:10 remaining. Third. Parker, shaking, baking, and scoring. Nice recipe for success for Tony Parker. With 11 points in the ball game, and Sam Mitchell has called the timeout. His ball club has become stagnant over the last 2-3 minutes here, and he wants to make sure to get this team on track. 5 minutes to go third. Raptors down 64-56. Our Hyundai drive to win, and of course in the free agent market, the Spurs targeted Brent Berry. And Brent Berry can put the ball on the floor. He can shoot threes. He's a wonderful passer and an all-around team basketball player.
Now, playing with guys like Brent Berry, they just make the game easy. They make the game fun. And when you got a whole team of guys that are willing to give it up, or threats from the outside, a guy like Tim Duncan can have a field day down low with all the disadvantage that players like Brent Berry put defense on.
Spurs kind of started off a little bit sluggishly, and then Greg Popovich called the timeout early in the third quarter and said, enough is enough. Start playing some defense. And Brent Berry coming off the bench now in the third for Popovich, and the Spurs have come from behind, leading 64-56. And Vince Carter struggling to say the least. He has played 21 minutes, 1 for 6 from the floor. He has not gone to the foul line. 1 rebound, 1 assist, and 2 points.
Well, that's what you got to look at. You have to say, all right, you're struggling, 1 for 6. Do I like the shots he's taking? Not particularly. But can you get the ball in the glass? Can you move the basketball and get some assists? Can you get some steals? Can you get to the free throw line but aggressively go into the bucket? There's ways to make up for 1 for 6.
Chris Bosh, nope. Rebound, San Antonio, and Bosh is 6 for 13. He has 14 points and 5 rebounds. It's a very methodical San Antonio ball club as Berry drains the jumper from 20. You know, Leo, you look at this team and they're really not flashy. Then all of a sudden you look at the scoreboard and they're up by 10.
That's the thing. They do it very quietly, very disciplined. All of a sudden you're right in the game. Next thing you know, you're out of it.
67-56. Here's Carter working against Bowen. Hang time, rimmed out. Rebound, Lauren Woods. Foul on San Antonio.
See, if the Raptors can move the ball around and Vince can catch it after several passes, catch it on the move, and then try to drive that ball a little harder to the basket, he's going to get opportunities. But when you're going 1-on-5, this is a big team. This, you know, there's a lot of bodies in there. It's a tough shot to make off balance.
See what offense Raper can generate here, and Tony Parker on a spin fouls him. Tony Parker, whose father played collegiately in the United States at Loyola of Chicago. He's from France, Tony Parker is. And the Spurs knew what a terrific young player he was and made sure he's going to remain in San Antonio for years to come. Peterson, rim out. Boy, the Raptors cannot buy a bucket here. And Carter coming out, guarded by Brent Berry. He can take Berry, 18-foot.
Making a shot there, but I think right now what Vince Carter can do is take a page out of Mo Pete's book. Mo Pete is being aggressive and going to the bucket. Vince can add that to his game.
67-58 Spurs. Also comes over to shade help on Duncan. Now on Duncan against Bosh, and Tim Donaghy has called a foul on Ray for Alston.
I look like Ray for Alston got caught reaching in.
And for Alston, that will be his third.
Driving in, and there's the slap. Not much of it. Didn't he actually caught the jersey?
What's his last name? Duncan.
Are you saying Duncan's going to get that call just because?
Hey, you know what? He's earned it.
Well, there's that deep three. Remember, Bowen, his percentages may not impress you, but from behind the arc, this guy is deadly.
Shooting 40%. You're right, Leo. And he has worked on that game. Here's Carter. No, popped out. Here's Parker. Waiting for Malik Rose to set him a screen. Spurs lead by 12. 8 on the shot clock. Again, the open man is Bowen. Good. Back-to-back trays for Bruce Bowen. What's happening defensively now for the Raptors?
Their aggressiveness is lost. They're so concerned about packing it in. They're not getting outside and rotating fast enough to the shooters. But San Antonio being more aggressive in their attack, they're getting into the paint and kicking it out. And right now it's a 19-4 run for the Spurs.
And the Spurs have outscored the Raptors 21-10 here in the third quarter. We told you over the last 4 games, opponents have outscored the Raptors in the third quarter 31-20.
It's tough enough. It has been for the Raptors, let alone with the Spurs coming in. And good teams like San Antonio, they go for the kill. In the second half, that's when they start increasing everything, all the tenacity. And, you know, they know what they want to do down the stretch here.
All right, Leo, I want to ask you about Tim Duncan, certainly, and what the Spurs have done, because they've recognized, obviously, that, you know, the Raptors, like 29 other clubs in the NBA, struggle against a player like Tim Duncan, with great hands and whatnot. But with the Raptors in the third quarter, we have seen this now over and over. What's happening? Either adjustments that are being made against the Raptors, or why the Raptors struggle in the third quarter.
You just got to come out with an aggressiveness, regardless of what happens in the first half. And Tim Duncan is kind of showing that. He had a very good first half. He came right out in the second half, and he sets the tone. And that's where you need everybody from your franchise player to your fifth option to come out and play aggressively. The Raptors out aggressively. They give up a lot of offensive rebounds early in the second half, or early in this quarter. And it's so important not to do that. And you really hurt your momentum if you're trying to fight and try to play against a great team like San Antonio. And you know San Antonio is going to make adjustments. They always do. And right now they're attacking that zone. They're picking it apart, their games, and they're finding the open shooters.
Well, upcoming games right here on TSN, Tuesday, 7 o'clock. Raptors against Washington. Of course, Washington made a blockbuster deal in the offseason. Stackhouse and the 4th pick going to Dallas in exchange for Antoine Jamison, who was delivered big time. And Stackhouse has found a home as well in Dallas, coming off the bench, and Devin Harris is a brilliant young point guard for the Mavs. Norma?
Thanks. In that last time out, obviously, Coach Sam Mitchell concerned mostly with Tony Parker, and he's doing what he does best, and that is penetrating and causing havoc. He said every time you let him in, and they've got an open shot. We have to stop the penetration, guys.
And anytime you let a ball handler into that paint, once he gets into the paint, all his options are available to him. So it's so important for the Raptors to close that up.
And right for Alston in traffic. Very tough shot. And Alston then, out of frustration, has fouled Tony Parker. The Raptors and Ray for Alston, who has just collected foul number 4, 7 of 20 here in the third quarter for 35%. And he's going to take a seat on the bench. And Milt Palacio is coming in. Palacio, Leo, played 5 minutes of the first score. Listen, Vince Carter, 2 of 9 in the ball game.
Yeah, now we talked about Vince extensively, and on the West Coast, obviously there were a lot of questions raised about his intensity and how he was playing. Chuck, one theory right now, with all the trade rumors swirling, and you know, a lot of people saying he's on the verge of being traded, could it be that the player subconsciously or consciously might be holding back a little bit more to avoid injury or anything that could possibly ruin the ability of a trade being made? I have to wonder if that's a factor.
I would think not. I mean, this guy's a pro, and I don't think you can question his integrity.
I don't know if it's a question of integrity, but it's human nature. It's normal to think that if you may be on the blocks, if these rumors are true, that you are being shopped around, and there's some likely scenarios that, one, you wouldn't, if you demanded a trade over the summer, that you wouldn't want to jeopardize that trade by being hurt. And again, it's human nature, and I'm just speculating.
But that's when you get hurt, when you don't want it. I mean,
I agree with that, and I think you need to play the same way all the time to avoid getting injury. But again, let's talk human nature. That very well could be something that's going through his mind at this point in time, because this is not a type of game that Vince Carter should be playing right now.
Not against a team like San Antonio. For that matter, anybody. It doesn't matter whether you're talking about the Charlotte.
And he's too good a player. And again, I'm not talking about percentages. Let's forget percentages.
Right.
A lot of players can have off nights. It's the type of shots you take. It's the intensity you bring to your defense. It's the leadership you provide on the floor.
And Carter going to the bench in favor of Jalen Rose with 1:51 to go. Late third, Rose hobbled by thigh or hip injury sustained in the first quarter early in this ball game. Rose with a double pump, counting the foul.
See, that's strength right there. This guy is brute force, down low, people hanging on him, getting knocked over. He still manages to make that shot.
And with 1:46 to go, the Spurs have erupted, and this ball game is right now in their back pocket. They lead 77-59.
You know what's?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I just want to go back to Vince for a moment with it while he's on the bench. Yeah, Leo, I get flooded with emails from our fans when they go to Raptors.com. And you know what? I think they can tolerate the fact that Vince is going to have a bad ball game. You're human. You're going to have bad ball games in this league. But it's how you play. And it's also the fact that because of his trade demands, the question is, they've never heard him say, this is where I want to be.
Right.
And, you know, I bought into what Sam Mitchell's all about, what Rob Babcock wants to do. This is where I want to be. I want to be in Toronto, and I want to be a Raptor.
Well, as I referred to earlier, the statement that he made saying, I'm just trying to give Sam Mitchell what he wants. If that's the truth, then you have to bring the intensity. And I'm going to use Tim Duncan as a reference. When you look at the franchise player in this league, and I've had several coaches make this statement to me, when your franchise player, like a Tim Duncan, like a Jason Kidd, like a Steve Nash in Phoenix, when they're your hardest workers, most aggressive players, you have success. And for the most part, best defenders, in the case of a Duncan, a Jason Kidd.
Chris Bosh and the Raptors trailing by 18, 78-60 with 90 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Brent Berry, Robert Horry. Here's Bowen again. That's the fourth pass they've made in this trip. Brent Berry, the fifth pass, and Rose with a dunk.
It's just too easy right now. And one thing you're going to see with San Antonio, Chuck, a lot of teams, once they get a lead, they play differently. They relax. You will see San Antonio play the same way from the beginning of the game to the end of the game. They play the game the right way. And that's one of the things that's really impressive. You'll see guys that are the 9th, 10th, 11th man come into the game. They won't alter their style. Greg Popovich will not allow guys to just joke around and lose their intensity. They're going to play the same way throughout the course of the game.
You know, Greg Popovich has that military background with the Air Force and whatnot. And Greg Popovich, one of his closest friends, if not his closest friend, period, is Larry Brown. I mean, they talk almost every day.
Oh, Larry Brown, of course.
I wonder if he got on the phone this morning and said, hey, I can use a few of your players because I may be losing a couple.
Well, I tell you what, we really haven't talked about it, but, what we saw Friday night was, I have to go back to playing internationally, playing in Europe before I can remember seeing anything like that. That was an ugly, horrible scene.
Yes.
And, bad for the players, bad for the fans.
Leo, have you ever been involved in one of those either in Europe or in the NBA?
Overseas, there were times, Chuck, I didn't think I'd get out of an arena alive.
Really?
Yeah, it's scary. And you even heard a few of the international players make comments that they ever seen anything like that, and they said only overseas. Games have a tendency to get out of hand and get crazy, and fans and players just lose their minds over there, but you don't expect that here. And, I was appalled. The fact that players would enter the stands, no way, never can you do that. The way the fans acted, horrible. Just across the board, it was a real sad scenario and a bad day for the NBA, no doubt about that.
Well, I'll tell you what, I don't know what will come down from the NBA office, but I will tell you this.
Harsh.
David Stern is a very strong commissioner, and I believe in this guy, and this guy is going to do it right.
The NBA has been a model for other pro leagues. And the NBA will set a precedent on how this will be handled. I assure you of that. The punishment will be severe, will be harsh, and will be quick.
Matt Bonner, no. Matt Bonner picks up the loose ball, got stripped at a foul. Now that is determination, and that's why the fans here in Toronto have embraced this kid. Here the Raptors are down by 20, and it's all about effort, period.
That's all they want right now. The fans want players to go out and play hard, challenge, contest, go after it. And here's, Matt Bonner, he's going to go inside. He's going to go after that loose ball. He doesn't care who's there, and that's the way you play this game.
I mean, is he the most skilled player? No. But you know what? It's about heart, and it's about passion. As Bonner going to the free throw line after missing the first, his second attempt is good. Bonner in this ball game with 5 points in 11 minutes. He also has a couple of rebounds after a 14-point night Friday against Seattle. Robert Horry missed it badly. That was an ugly-looking shot. And the Raps will gladly take it.
Chuck. It's not the last 2 minutes of the game with the game on the line.
That's right. He's probably saying, hey, come on. We're up by only 19. Palacio, and he just threw it away.
It's been a tough game for Milt. He really has not gotten on track whatsoever in this ballgame.
Brent Berry, no, and that ends the third quarter. Spurs 82, Raptors 63 as San Antonio ends this period on a 28-9 run. President's Choice Raptors basketball right here on TSN from the Air Canada Center. And the Spurs looking. And we are back live. Always a pleasure talking Raptors ball. Thanks for joining us. Stats through 3, Leo.
Well, San Antonio is starting to heat up more and more and more. 46% from the field. Raptors down to 41%. Spurs just killing the Raptors on the glass. 20 assists to 13. Turnovers. Raptors giving up 9 points. And points in the paint. Big advantage. Plus 16 for the Spurs. Let's join Norma Wick.
Thanks, Lou. On that last time out, the word of the day was aggression, especially on offense. They've got a big deficit to make up. Sam is interested in having these guys drive to the hoop, try to stop the clock, get some free throws.
All right, Norma, thank you very much. Fourth quarter underway here in Toronto.
And if you're saying that, you got to sell the guys. Hey, come on, you have nothing to lose out here. Go out, play aggressive. Go challenge. Go at Tim Duncan. Play as hard as you can out here. Give the fans something to cheer for.
Here's Ray for Alston. The bounce pass goes to Bosch, and he is fouled.
And Bosch is one of the guys that you got to hang your hat on right now. He's got to get some touches, some good ones, and give us some opportunities to do some work out here.
And they changed this. Bosch wanted to push in the back from Duncan, did not get it. They just call it a kick ball. So 20 on the clock. Ray for Alston has 11 points in the ball game, along with 6 assists.
Nice,
and he goes strong to the basket.
Nice, a little hesitation as he comes off that screen and then turning on the Jets.
Spurs basketball at 45%, but again rebounding, especially on the offensive window. One of the key elements to the Spurs' success, leading 82-65. Bowen again. Rebound Bosch. Chris Bosch has played 33 minutes, 15.7 rebounds. Peterson for the 3-ball. Good.
And that's what Sam Mitchell's talking about. Milt Palacio, he's been quiet, but he gets that Chris Bosch rebound, and he just pushes it up the floor and finds the open man, Mo Pete.
What do you think of this backcourt with Alston and Palacio?
I like it. What they can do is, remember, Ray for Alston, with his shooting ability, he can step out and knock shots as a 2-guard, but either one of them can push it up the floor and attack the basket.
I'm wondering if Bowen's going to get a touch because he's 6'7", and Alston about 6'2". Ginobili, no, rebound Alston. And here's Rafer again, finding the open man. Peterson, no. That would have brought the house down, but Palacio comes up with a offensive board.
Good job by Palacio, and that was the right guy to find. Finding Mo Peterson in transition. He's got 13 points in the game, feeling good. You want to keep him going if you can.
You got to switch Lamond Murray.
Yeah, he wanted it against Tony Parker.
Yes, he did. He's got 5 inches on it. Here's a spin. Rafer, Murray, left elbow, bam! And the Raptors have come out strong in the fourth quarter, and Greg Popovich says enough is enough. But Lamond Murray and the Raptors trailing now by only 12 with 10:05 to go here in the fourth quarter. They are on a 7-0 run right here on TSN. The fans here at the ACC are rocking, and so is Rod Smith. Sports Center, 6 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Pacific. You got the Grey Cup, but you also got the Bears and the Colts, Leo. But hey, let's talk Raptor ball. Big fourth quarter rally by the Raps. They're down by 12.
Mo Peterson is playing very well right now, getting some touches. And Lamond Murray, we talked about him earlier. He's kind of been a little quiet the last couple of games, but that's a nice opportunity for the Raptors to get him into it if Lamond Murray can get on a little bit of a roll down the stretch here.
His first field goal attempt in 10 minutes of activity. And the Raptors now need to make some stops. They got the job done here in the fourth quarter. Outscoring the Spurs 7-0. Bowen. And this is Robert Ory. And we got the strip.
You have a whole different feel in the arena right now, Chuck. The Raptors putting in a little effort. All of a sudden, everybody's reacting to calls, and the fans are into this game again.
Yes, as they know Utrecht going to the free throw line for only the 7th time this season. He was their #1 pick, the 28th overall from Slovenia at the age of 22. Played ball with Yuri Walsh about 4 years ago. Walsh, of course, with the Boston Celtics. And this is a no-go on the first of 2.
And a nice fit for Greg Popovich's team. I mean, he's a player that moves the ball, has the shot, has a head for the game. And those players fit very well into this system.
7 international players on the San Antonio club. Here's Rafer Alston, turn it on to speed. And this is what we talked about with Rafer. When he decides to go to the hole, good things happen.
You don't want to get in a foot race with this guy. He turns on the jets and he is gone. Bruce Bowen's got a lot of quickness, has no chance whatsoever once Rafer gets it going. Hey, Chuck, you talk about the international players in San Antonio. It wasn't just, but a few years ago, I remember doing a game and being involved in the studio show and saying I would love to see an all-star NBA international team versus an all-star NBA team. And you wouldn't believe the response. A lot of fans said, "What are you crazy?
I think it'd be great."
You know what? Now, do you want to say the same thing today?
Well,
you look at some of the players in this league and what they're capable of doing. It'd be a great game.
Plus, look what the All-Star game has become. Can I out-dunk you?
Yeah.
I mean, I would rather see, you know what, put Nowitzki and Yao Ming together on the floor.
Now look what Steve Nash has done with Phoenix. He's turned that team around. They're one of the top teams in the league right now. Remember, he's the international point guard, along with Tony Parker and a few other guys.
Well, the United States were playing territorial rights and adopt Canada for that game. Here is Duncan. Double on the ball. I mean, you look at the ball movement of San Antonio, and they've gone cold break. If the Raps can capitalize, here's Rafer.
San Antonio's gotten cold, but the Raptors have had something to do with that. They're much more aggressive.
Yep. Palacio with a reverse hits the floor.
Had Mo Peak in the corner, wide open.
Robert Horry. Ginobili. Duncan looking for a touch, and he receives one. Missed. Back rimmed out. Rebound Raptors. Here come the Toronto Raptors, looking to make a dent in the Spurs lead. Murray driving baseline. Spins, turns, got it! What a play! Lamond Murray. He just took Udrich to score.
His eyes lit up, much like Rafer Alston's did in the first half. Udrich on him. Udrich does not have the size to guard Lamond Murray down there.
It's a 10-point Spurs lead. Ginobili going inside. Duncan, no. He will shoot two, and Bosch leading with Tim Donaghy. Figured he got all ball, but this will send Duncan to the foul line. But the Raptors have done a fantastic job cutting into the Spurs lead that was once 20 just a couple of 3 minutes ago.
Just being much more aggressive. That time, Bosch picking up his 4th foul, and you don't want to waste an argument. Definitely had some contact on the arm of Tim Duncan. You want to try to keep your arguments to a minimum, so when you want to plead your case, you have a legitimate chance.
And the Raptors have come from behind many times this season, and they're able just to get refocused, and Greg Popovich obviously concerned.
I'm not too happy right now. And Popovich, you talk to the coaches of San Antonio prior to game time, and this team's on a roll, playing great basketball. They're saying, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. This thing's still going to prove on. It's a long season. This is a group that really has it all in perspective right now, and obviously they don't like some of the things they've seen at this stage of the game.
Duncan with only his 3rd point this half. 84-73 Spurs. And the Raptors turn it over. Brent Berry, Tim Duncan. Again, they're trying to take the ball out of Duncan's hands, and he threw it away. Again, every possession critical against a team like San Antonio. Peterson whips it and threw it away. Back-to-back turnovers for Toronto.
Again, those turnovers, when you're making a run, they just break your back. Raptors have to try to find some way. Get a shot up. You're a lot better opportunity if you're going to miss a shot as opposed to throw the ball away. And that pass just way too hard for Chris Bosh to handle.
Turnover number 11 for the Raptors. We near the 7.5-minute mark. Ginobili Peels off a screen from Duncan. Tim Duncan with a missed dunk.
Lamond Murray got a piece of that shot.
He did. And did he walk? Yes, he did. Good call by veteran official Tim Donaghy.
See, Raptors continue to get a chance against San Antonio. Spurs 0 for 6 in this quarter. Raptors 4 of 6, but you don't want to waste your opportunities. Get another look. Lamond Murray getting a piece of that ball. Now, when you're 4 for 6, Chuck, that's what I said. Don't turn the ball over. Coach would much rather see a missed shot, even a bad one, than a turnover and no shot.
Pass against Duncan to the baseline, blocked by Duncan, but Murray there for the putback. Lamond Murray, and it's 84-75 Spurs.
Aggressive move, you got it blocked, but you like the effort by Chris Paul.
This crowd has really come to life here. Peterson fouls Ginobili, who turned baseline right on the corner. The Raptors come back with Rose and Carter on the bench. And Sam Mitchell's got to be pleased by this unit, who's brought a lot of energy, Leo, to the floor here in the fourth quarter.
Well, they really have. They've come in. Remember, there was a timeout, and Raptors said, let's get it going. Let's be aggressive. They're on a 12-2 run in this quarter just by coming out and say, hey, you know what? They have nothing to lose. Let's play hard at both ends.
10 on the shot clock. Tony Parker working against Alston. The fall away, off the mark. Good D by Alston, and it will be Raptor ball. This would be something if the Raptors pull this one out.
It's a long way to go.
Long way to go for sure. Here's Bosh. Baker, are you kidding me? Oh, that was Tim Duncan. Vintage Tim Duncan as CB4 used some glass.
Must have been like looking in the mirror for Duncan. How often do we see that shot?
And now Duncan demanding the ball.
Is this one going off the glass?
Bury a deep three. No. Rebound Bosh. The lead pass goes to Peterson. Alston going to Murray. And here come the Toronto Raptors. Timeout San Antonio. The Raptors on a 16-2 fourth quarter run, and this crowd is going bananas.
Great pass by Rafer Alston. Bosh rebounding in traffic, and the Raptors on a roll. Look at this rebound. Over Tim Duncan, and then the quick outlet pass. Mo Peterson wisely giving it up, and a left-handed bullet to Lamond Murray on the break.
84-79 Spurs. What a ball game here in the fourth quarter. Raps battling back, 5:56 to go on TSN. Tonight on TSN, 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. Favre and the Packers take it on David Carr and the Houston Texans, the NFL on TSN. And Lamond Murray has ignited this fourth quarter comeback for the Raptors, trailing by only 5.
Lamond Murray using his strength, getting down low. He saw the mismatch, took advantage of it. How about this? Challenging Tim Duncan, getting a piece of it, and then getting that opportunistic dunk down low, and then what a pass. Look at this pass from Rafer Alston. A left-handed, off-the-dribble bullet, and then running the floor and finishing above the rim. Lamond Murray, you know, Chuck, we've been talking about this potential breakout game. He's been there. He's been so close. Dropped off a little bit, but he's right back here in the fourth quarter. He realizes there's an opportunity playing for Sam Mitchell. If Vince isn't there, if Jalen Rose isn't there, Sam Mitchell will give opportunities to players like Lamond Murray, like Mo Peterson, to step up and have a big role in the fourth quarter, and they know it.
And this bench has done a terrific job in the fourth quarter, outscoring San Antonio 11-1. The Spurs 0 for 8 in the field goal department here in the fourth quarter. Ginobili with a floater and a scoop with the left hand. It is good.
Now, anytime you have that pick and roll situation with Duncan, and a player like Ginobili, you really have to be careful how you're going to handle that. Ginobili reading it very well, just going straight to the basket.
Alston running baseline left. The open man Peterson. Boom, shakalaka. A three ball from Mo Pete. Splash time here at the ACC.
9 assists. Actually, that was the 10th assist in this game for Rafer Alston for just 1 turnover.
Parker to Brent Berry. And again, it is Tim Duncan time. Duncan Double team and foul. You know he's going to get every touch down the floor.
And it's not just because he's Tim Duncan that he's going to get the call either, Chuck. He does a great job at baiting the defense. He drops that ball down, and he's not holding it down just because he's got bad position. Here we get a look at Mo Peterson. Look at his great pass. Mo Peterson ready, knocking it down. Mo Pete's got 16. But Duncan, what he'll do is he'll hold that ball purposely and try to bait the defender into reaching and grabbing for it, well aware of where his man is and that other help defender trying to draw the foul.
Leo, Tim Duncan with only 3 second-half points, 24 on the night, 15 rebounds. Greg Popovich, you know he takes every possession to heart. What have the Raptors done to Duncan in the second half they were not able to do in the first?
Well, they're just coming at him hard. They're challenging him. They're also making him work at the defensive end of the floor. You can't lay back regardless of who it is. You have to play hard and go after it. And that's what the Raptors have done down the stretch.
Alston with a double-double, 14 points, 10 assists. Going in front to Palacio. Plenty of time for the Raptors to run a good set. And Duncan fouls Bosh.
And see the difference when you make the one-on-one move or a drive off the dribble after you take the ball and swing it. You have penetration, the ball gets kicked out to Palacio. Now, when Bosh catches it, you have Duncan running at you. He's moving towards you, and that gives you the opportunity to drive the ball. Help comes over, and Bosh is going up aggressively. Ooh, that shot wasn't close.
Nesterovic has picked up his third as Sam Mitchell. And the Raptors and Greg Popovich and the Spurs, the wheels are turning. Spurs up by 5, 4:48 to go. Here in the fourth quarter, the Spurs led by as many as 20. Chris Bosh having an outstanding ball game with 18 points and 9 rebounds. He has been to the foul line 8 times. Parker again to Duncan. Double on the ball. Berry, perimeter ball movement. Parker a 3. Rebound, Peterson, right in.
And that's the ticket. When you get your perimeter players coming in there, helping out the big guys, you get a lot of those rebounds.
Alston, Bosh, working it. Pumping, driving, rimming out. He'll shoot 2. It's Chris Bosh. I think this crowd loves what Bosh is doing, and why not? Working hard at both ends of the floor. You think it's easy to cover Tim Duncan? Think again. And then he has to use energy on the other end of the floor because the Raptors need its low post presence.
Well, and not only when he's in the low post on the offensive end does he have to beat a Duncan or Nesterovic, but when he beats him, the other one's coming.
Yes,
So
good point.
You're talking about dealing with 2 quality 7-footers coming at you, but he's been doing a great job and not shying away from challenge. You could tell by the way he came out in this game that he was ready to play. And Sam Mitchell loves it when his big, young talent comes to play.
Nesterovic leads. And for the Spurs, you've got Parker along with Berry, Robert Horry, Ginobili, and Duncan. Bosh, free throw, good. This unit with Alston, Palacio, Peterson, Bosh, and Lamond Murray. It's a 2-point Spurs lead with 4:07 to go in the fourth. Ginobili goes to Berry underneath Robert Horry. And his head by Lamond Murray. Raptors can tie it right here. Shaking, baking, Alston to the rim. Oh, baby, what a play. About 20 points for a lead is toast. Oh, my goodness, are you kidding me? This crowd on their feet. And again, the Raptors doing it with Carter and Rose on the bench. Here is Parker. Great defense by the Raptors. Ginobili, Berry for 3. No. Rebound, Lamond Murray.
What happened to those open shots for San Antonio, Chuck? They are no longer there. Every shot being contested.
This crowd will go bananas if the Raptors take the lead right here. They are ready to blow up the ACC's roof. Alston a deep 3. Rimmed out.
Oh, you're right, Chuck. The roof would have come off on that one.
With 3:08 remaining. And they go to Tim Duncan on the right block. Double team, and we have a foul.
And again, you see what he does. He'll drop that ball as he sees that help defender coming over and try to tempt them into reaching for the ball. He holds onto it tight. He is protecting it, but he's looking to get fouled when he gets the ball in the post. Here he drops it. Notice the way he drops it a little lower than normal and then brings it up as that defender's reaching for the ball. He is as good as you get at baiting a help defender into a foul.
Alston has picked up his fifth, Leo, and Duncan going for the free throw line. Appearances number 14 and 15. And this one is missed.
As we said, if there is a weakness, a crack in Duncan's game, it's the free throw line and his ability to make free throws.
.87 apiece with 3:04 left. The Raptors, this squad here in the fourth quarter, they have left every ounce of energy and skill on the floor. And Duncan breaks the tie. He's got 26 points, 15 rebounds. Raptors looking to take their first lead since early, or rather midway in the second quarter. Alston with a ball fake to the cup. Ray for Alston has given the Raptors an 89-88 lead with point number 18.
And he's smiling coming back on D. He's feeling a lot of confidence right now. What an explosive burst to the basket.
Ginobili with a post-up against an outstanding defender in Peterson, and no put a body on him. Here come the Raptors again, going down the floor to Lamond Murray, and he threw an ankle pass to Palacio, and now Murray threw it away. And they're going to have to reset the clock, Leo. They're going to reset the clock.
Look at Ray for Alston right now, Chuck. He's jumping on Lamond Murray. He's playing with enthusiasm. This team right now on the floor, they're having a good time. And that's what it's all about. That's what Sam Mitchell was talking about when he said, be aggressive. Go out there and play. You don't fear your opponent. You don't lay back for your opponent. You challenge your opponent. That's the way Sam played, and that's the way his team's playing right now.
Glad you could join us this afternoon right here on TSN. The Raptors have stormed from behind, down by 20. They lead by 1. 14 on the clock. Alston. Giving it up to Lamond Murray. Rainbow air. Caught by Ginobili.
Nice job by Robert Horry getting him in that shot.
They want to give it up to Duncan. No question about it. They know if he gets the ball, he's going to either score or get fouled. Nice pass inside to Parker. Slapped out of his hands. Robert Horry with a dunk.
Nice decision by Parker. Stayed with it, even though he got the first one knocked away. Remember, this San Antonio team, they're not a team that's going to panic. Raptors have to execute down the stretch.
Yes. What do you call right here, Leo?
Well, let's see what they can get with Bosch and Rayford to pick and roll.
Lamond Murray with a three-ball. Yes! Big money Lamond Murray!
Remember, he had that shot in Portland, Chuck. It went in. That would have set the game into overtime when the clock ran out just as he released it. No pressure felt that time.
A 2-point Raptor lead. Duncan with a power. Missed the dunk.
And Lamond Murray was there again to get a piece of it.
Wanted a foul and didn't get it. Now the Raptors with possession and a 2-point lead. 65 seconds to go in regulation. 92-90.
Amazing, Chuck. Twice Tim Duncan has been deflected on a dunk attempt by Lamond Murray.
Bosch driving. And he comes down on the floor with Duncan. What do we have? A jump.
They're calling a jump ball. Now from this angle, it appeared there was a little bit of contact on the arm. There was a lot of ball, but there was some contact on the arm as well.
We'll have a jump when we return. We'll be back in a moment. 55 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. And the Knicks, and Rafer Alston has played 40 minutes, 18 points, 11 assists. He has played a whale of a fourth quarter, along with the rest of the players in this unit that Sam Mitchell has gone with.
Chuck, he has used his quickness. He has gone to the basket fearless, just going in there, challenging. Lamond Murray, quiet start to this game, but he has come on, knocking down jump shots, going to the basket, and challenging Tim Duncan, getting a piece of 2 of his dunks attempted in this game.
And the tip is controlled by San Antonio.
Very important for the Raptors. Continue to play great position, challenge the shot. They've got to get the rebound. Everybody's got to be a rebound.
17,264. Urging the Raptors to play solid defense. Duncan misses. Rebound, Palacio.
Nice job by Chris Bosh. He stayed in front of Tim Duncan, just got hands up and challenged the shot.
Wait for Alston, working the rock. 13 on the shot clock, 24 seconds remaining regulation. Raptors up 92-90. Alston to Palacio, Lamond Murray. Murray off the bounce. Yes! 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 Could that be the dagger? With 14.6 seconds to go, timeout, San Antonio. $94-90, a two-possession lead for the Raptors. Will return on TSN. Oh, man, what a ball game in Toronto. Chuck Swirsky, Leo Elton's Norma Wick, and Leo Lamond Murray has been tremendous both ends of the floor for the Raptors here in the fourth quarter.
Well, we've been talking about which game is it going to be that Lamond Murray is going to break out. Remember, this guy had so much potential in his game, especially the offensive end when he came to Toronto. Injuries, a lot of things have forced a lot of setbacks for him and kept him on the waiting list, but he is ready to play, and he has made some big shots. And you can see his teammates, they know what he's been through, and they're happy for him. Everybody's up cheering. Lamond Murray, all of his 13 points have come in the fourth quarter, and as we pointed out, a couple of big challenges on Tim Duncan dunk attempts as well.
Well, Leo, this game is not over. Unfortunately for the Raptors, they got to play 14.6 more seconds. So let's set it up now from Greg Popovich's standpoint. What do you try to do here? Is it Tim Duncan and more Tim Duncan?
I think you got to get the ball down to Tim Duncan. He had some good looks. He couldn't get him to go down. But remember, these guys feed off him. If Tim Duncan gets his hands on it, he will find the open man as well if there's movement. But for the Raptors, do what they did on that last possession. Great position. Make sure nobody beats you. You've got to have position, and then everybody's got to get in and get the rebound.
Ginobili, quick three ball, rimmed out, rebound loose on the floor. It's way for Alston, fouled in backcourt. Now, I'll be honest with you, I question that shot selection.
I do as well. That was just a little bit too quick. They wanted to get something quick because they wanted to try to get the ball back, but that was just too quick off balance for Ginobili.
And we have a 20-second timeout. Toronto, the Raptors trailed 80-60 with 1:16 to go, late third. And yet here we are, folks. They lead 94-90.
Now, quick shot, Mo Peterson right in Ginobili's face, and everybody going to the board. Palacio was in there. Alston was in there. Bosh, Murray, that's the way to close out a game. You do a good job defensively. You don't want to give up that rebound. And this group, they have been fighting and scrapping since they've been down 20.
Well, this will go down as the biggest fourth quarter comeback in Toronto Raptors franchise history. In 10 years, they were down going into the fourth quarter, 82-63. This has been a remarkable ball game.
Oh, what's even more remarkable is look at the players that are getting it done. Lamond Murray, Mo Peterson, Milt Palacio, Rafer Alston, and Chris Bosh on the floor together, really taking it to one of the top teams in the league.
You know, Leo, we saw this on the road in Utah. Rose and Carter on the bench. Raptors surprised the Jazz. As Bosh inbounding to Rafer Alston, he is fouled by Tim Duncan with 8.8 seconds remaining. Alston 1 for 2 from the stripe. But again, this is a two-possession game with Raptors in front by 4. I'll tell you what, the Grey Cup's coming up in a few hours. Hey, if the Argos and the BC Lions can top this type of drama, good luck to them, because we've seen everything tonight here.
Just an incredible game.
Sam Mitchell has got to be so proud of this.
He challenged these guys. He challenged them at the start of the fourth quarter to just be aggressive, and they answered the call.
Now it's a 2 full possession game in favor of the Raptors. They lead by 6 with 8.8 seconds remaining. I mean, the Raptors, folks, if you just joined us on TSN, Leo, I mean, it was Tim Duncan with 21 first half points. Then third quarter, the wheels came off. Raptors were down by 19 going in the fourth quarter and said, you know what? Hey, I'm going to put guys out on the floor. Let's just get something done.
Well, the one thing about Sam Mitchell, he's not afraid to say, and this is regardless whether it's Vince Carter, Jalen Rose, or anybody else. If you're not playing, if you're not getting it done, you won't play. And he's done this already. He's done this. The Raptors, you mentioned the win in Utah. Both Jalen and Vince sitting on in the fourth quarter, sitting on the bench, and the Raptors won that game. And you know what? You have to be able to do that. Two things happen. One, it sends a message to the players that aren't performing.
Yes.
And the other thing what it does is the players like a Lamond Murray, like a Mo Peterson, they know that if they work, if they put in the effort, they will get the time. They will get the opportunity.
They'll be rewarded.
And that's all a player wants. He wants that opportunity to show you what he can do. Lamond Murray's been waiting a long time, and he's answered the call. Mo Peterson has made adjustments, changed his game for Sam Mitchell, and it's paying dividends. Rafer Alston has been outstanding, and he loves this time of the game as well. And how about Chris Bosh in today's time? It's just tremendous.
Well, I mean, there's so many terrific storylines if the Raptors hold on and win this game. I mean, Chris Bosh, he's got a double-double of 20 and 10.
Got to the line 10 times.
A double-double of 20 and 11 assists.
And only one turnover.
Bowen inbounding. Barry forces up a three-ball. Banker, no. Rebound, Bosh, loose ball foul.
Looks like Lamond Murray's getting called, putting the body on Ginobili. But even that shot, you see Mo Palacio right in the face of Barry. Barry had no chance to get a good shot off on that attempt. Look at the tight defense. Right in the face, but no foul. Notice the discipline. You want to be aggressive, but you don't want to commit a silly foul coming down the stretch. Palacio doing a great job.
He stops the clock, putting Ginobili at the line. Nalia, do you make the free throw here or do you miss it?
Right now, I'm going to make the free throw and just try to get the ball back as quickly as possible.
Okay.
It was a big gamble. It was a big gamble anytime you're missing that free throw, Chuck. Even though you have Duncan and Starovich in there, you got Lauren Woods. Good adjustment by Sam Mitchell. Great hand for Lamond Murray as he comes out of the game. But the Woods in the game now to make sure if there is a miss, and there it is, hopefully the Raptors get the rebound.
And it's loose. Parker, 2 seconds. No good. Raptors win! Raptors win! Raptors win! What a ball game! A tremendous fourth quarter rally by the Toronto Raptors, down by 19 going into the extra fourth quarter, and they got it done. Wow, 96-91.
Unbelievable effort. Lamond Murray, Mo Peterson, Chris Bosh, Rafer Alston getting it done along with Mo Palacio. Two key players, Vince Carter, Jalen Rose sitting on the bench, watching, coming back down 20.
Yeah, they outscored the Spurs 33-9 in the fourth quarter. Norma Wick with Lamond Murray.
Well, Lamond, what was your mindset stuck 19 heading into the fourth?
Well, we just had to bring the energy like we've been doing last few games, just try to come off the bench to change the tempo of the game, and that's what we're able to do. Get up and down the floor, no matter what happened, play hard defense, and and try and make some mismatches on the other end. That's what we did.
You had 13 points all in the fourth, 6 of 7, a couple of blocks, rebounds, steals. Have you been waiting for this?
Yeah, I was just trying to make, like I said, just bring energy. That means blocking shots, rebounding, hitting shots, or whatever. Just whatever to try and change the tempo of the game, and that's what we were able to do. So.
Talk about the camaraderie that you have on the bench and what this win means for this team at this point.
Man, we was losing on a big losing slide after we lost to Seattle. We hadn't won one, and we came back home, lost again. We just wanted to come in and like I said, bring as much energy we can to try and change our mindset, with all the losing and stuff that we're going through. And that's what we want to do, get a win tonight against a good team like San Antonio.
Welcome back to the league.
Yeah, it's great to get a win right now, and now we just got to work from there.
Thanks a lot. Lamond Murray. The team overcame a 19-point fourth quarter deficit. That is the largest margin to overcome in franchise history. Chuck?
All right, Norma, so the Raptors in the win column step at a 5-game slide, and they did it convincingly in the fourth quarter right here on TSN.